Is this going to be tarmacked, this ramp bit, or how's that going to get finished, do you know?
No, it's just finished the same as that.
It's just going to be like type 1.
Yeah.
And just whack a plate it down. And that's it, sort of finished off. And what about this sort of sandstone edging and that there?
There's scopes and stuff to go on that.
Yeah, so that's downtime. Is that going to be this weekend, is it?
Not this weekend, but it'd be decent.
Right.
In the castle, didn't
We're all free stuff.
Get him to open
Right.
it up.
Right, so when's it likely to be getting opened?
A few weeks.
So it's still a few weeks away.
Close, yeah.
Is that
Right.
going to be the steepness here and this side?
Yep.
Yeah, the gradient, yeah. I take it the farmer can run his equipment over there, can he?
Yes,
Yeah,
it would have been consulted before it was
yeah.
down.
What's the load bearing on that bridge? What can it carry?
We didn't know that off the top of my head.
Well, I can't see any restrictions on it, so I would expect it to be 44 tonne.
Really? Right.
I would expect it to be road legal.
Is there something else going on over there? Houses or something?
And
No,
that'll
that's
be
just
getting cleared out and
yeah,
returned to the way it was.
yeah. I was told that the type 1 and that would be getting spread over here to make good the path when it's
Some of
cleared
it will
up.
get dressed off and tidied
Yes.
off, and we'll tidy up any areas we've been in.
Yeah.
Use some of it here and dress some of it up as well. So, yeah. Looks good though.
It does. It's certainly. I think the sort of the stone effect. I know about the rubber matting and that was used for it, but I would have sort of maybe like the yellow pigment in the cement, so it gave a more like sandstone effect would have been perhaps better. I know it'll change colour with age as well.
It will age and it will
Yes.
change colour, but I think if you try and do
But-
that, if you don't pour it all at the same time,
Yes.
you'll
Get
get so many
various
different-
shades.
and
Yes.
that won't weather as well.
Right.
So it'll stand out quite bad. So, yeah, okay.
Yeah. I suspect it will take a few years before it starts to really start to blend in a bit.
Start the weather in properly, yeah.
Yes.
Take a bit of time, but the weather we get, quicker than you realise.
Like yesterday.
Yep. See you later.
Right, see you later, thanks. Yeah, so I was just talking to the engineers there, and I've just met up with, sorry, what's your name?
Dave.
Dave.
M-E-A-C-H, Meacher.
Dave Meacher.
As in teacher.
Oh, right.
Teacher spell it with a T for some reason.
Yeah.
My brother got that when he was younger.
And you were just telling me that you'd worked on the railway track inspection and that.
Yeah, track inspection, track maintenance. Right in the middle of the beginning of the 80s,
Right.
from when the Ladybank Junction got remodelled. I've been in the railway since '69. I started at
Yes.
Kirkcaldy.
So was that like you started from
A
leaving school?
12-man gang, and within weeks I was made redundant.
Right.
I was reducing it to 10 men. But they offered me a place in Thornton, and with a gang points and crossing maintenance.
Yes.
And that was at Thornton for a while, and then I left there to go through the west. I became a assistant manager through there, or sub-inspector as they were known, at an early age. I must have been the youngest in Britain, but I mean, it was advertised for a year, nobody else wanted it. And you begin to wonder what this job's about if nobody else wants it. I think it was just the poor salary that went with it.
Right.
I discovered that the same job in motorway maintenance was £3,000 a year more. And that was
Oh, right. Yes.
1975. Yeah. Big difference. But I stayed in the railway.
And you enjoyed it?
Eh?
And you enjoyed it?
I enjoyed that. I can't recall anything I didn't like. The weather's atrocious. You got long shifts at the weekend.
Mhm.
I mean,
Downtime
somewhere
on a
between
Saturday
10
night and
12.
things.
And sometimes when things went a bit skew with it, was 13 hours.
Yes.
But,
And do you have to have like a briefing and all that before you go on the track? What?
Prior to 74, there was none of that. The briefings came in the 90s. But I saw the health and safety at work act come in 74. And that, I saw the amount of money that was required to kit the men out. That was an extraordinary amount of ordering money nationally on the railway. And everybody's saying, who pays for this? The passengers that pay for it inevitably.
Yes.
But by the 80s, discovered that it was insurance companies that created this health and safety by demand, and they've got the big power because there was some case in America where somebody got their eye damaged even though they had eye goggles, and the lawyer just said, just got up, we're aware that we're supplied with PPE, but my client was never shown how to wear them. And this extraordinary thing in 1985 or thereabouts,
Yes.
in the early 80s, where the supervisors all over British Rail had to get out and instruct their staff how to use PPE,
Yes.
top to bottom, gloves, everything, and get them to sign a bit of paper. This had to be done on the behest of insurance companies. If they hadn't have done that, insurance companies' usual clauses would have said, I'm sorry, you're not insured anymore. The whole railway would have come to a standstill. Plus all the other big companies.
Yeah.
But that basically, I lived through all that. I witnessed all that. And
So did you used to have a lookout person on the track and all that?
yeah, well, you examined for the fastenings. In those days, there were jointed track
Yes.
plates, so every joint was examined for cracked
Because
plates.
it's all welded now.
Loose,
and
so
stretched.
I saw a lot of that going in. Some of it's been in twice.
Mm-hmm.
So I was at the concrete in the Queen Street tunnel when I was through the waste, the first one, and then it was done again more efficiently because engineers like complete closures to get on
Yes.
with it, but the railway always tried to fit them in with the timetable. It's no cost effective. So the second time round with the Queen Street tunnel, they got their way and got a couple of months at it and went from one end to the other and just did it continuously, no interruptions. And that's the way to do it. And that's what the railway's doing since.
Yes,
They
yes.
close whole lines for weeks.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, you're getting a more efficient and cheaper job, I think, at the end of the day,
Yes.
as far as the tracks go. But
So what do you know? Do you know anything specific about the old bridge? I imagine it was built
About
around
this
about
bridge?
1880s.
oh, the railway itself. Well, this is part of the railway, the Great North of Scotland Railway, I think, or the North of Scotland Railway, that started off at Burnt Island and he finished at Tayport.
Right. So this was a bit earlier than that then, was it?
Yeah, this is the
1850s,
time of
9 or something.
prior to the Taybridge disaster. So what happened was there was a station at the Edinburgh Waverley
Yes.
at right angles to the Waverley, which is now the shopping thing
All right.
called the Waverley Market. That was a
Yes.
way down, deep down station, and that went at right angles under Princes Street the way out to Leith and Granton. And then
All right,
the train
yes.
went on a ferry and come
Yeah,
up at
because
Burnt
I've
Island.
seen a bit of the
Come off at Burnt Island and went back and joined the main line as it is now, roughly where the swimming pool is.
yes.
And after that, when the bridge was built, the fourth bridge was built, they cut through the rock and went through Aberdeen, Kinghorn, and one thing and another.
Yeah, because that was a major change, wasn't it? Because a lot of farmland and that had to be cut through and lost. And
Well, everywhere the railway
Yes.
was built, a lot of land was cut. This is all cut through.
yes,
But there's a bit of history. The early Rothes who stayed in that house in Barkinch,
yes,
he put up money, his part shares, to build the viaduct up there and cut through up to the other side of Markinch. So he put up the money for that and obviously got his shares back at some point. He was quite happy with that.
yeah,
But the engineers wanted to build when they wanted to build the line to Leslie, they wanted to go through where the paper mill was and down the valley to get to Leslie. An easier route to follow, but the river, just like the one that goes down to Leven, it follows over
Yes.
the river and crosses underneath. But the man there said, no, we don't. It's going to. He wanted too much money, and well, you're not getting through if you don't pay up, sort of thing. So
yeah.
they decided to go away round his boundaries. So it made a detour away round to Leslie, coming down the hill and away across and away.
Ah, because you've got Boblingen Way,
Aye.
which would have been the
Bobbington Way.
rail
It
track
was-
there,
it's
yes.
Put a mileage on it. It would have just went straight through where the paper mill is and followed the river.
Yes,
And the station would have been down below and fed the paper mill from down below, and the people would have to. Well, it's twice as much a climb possibly, but aye, that's the way it worked. So they had to build two viaducts that not really needed. They wouldn't have been
Yes.
needed. But bridges might have been needed for the river.
So when you started, it was still steam trains?
No.
No.
I come in on the railway 69. No,
So
the
just
steam was
after
away.
the steam was away, yeah.
My father worked at the railway at Thornton Local, and he saw a lot of steam engines coming in. They all got tied together and carted away into the scrapyard.
Yes,
And
yes.
one or two, like Blue Peter and Union South Africa,
Yes.
were held there till the owners found something to do with them. So the BBC bought Blue Peter.
Yes.
For
Which
their
was up
programme.
here just a couple of months
and
ago
then,
or something.
The farmer up the road there, he bought the Union South Africa, and that ran about for a wee while. It was stabled at Markinch for
Aye.
a while. Stabled at Markinch, then that shed went on fire. So
That's right, I remember that because
he
I
put
seen
somebody
the
else.
engine popped its head out a few times when I very first came up here. I think it was before
I've seen the old shed. I've got a tour with my dad took me around about it, and when it was empty, and my brother had a couple of photographs taken on Blue Peter, which they took all the plates off. His souvenir hunters came about.
That's
And
the trouble.
they
These
looked after them. The foreman of the sheds looked after them, made sure they were all right till they were taken to where they were needed to be taken by the owners. I've seen a lot of. I mean, that track down there, it was all jointed. Every 60 feet there was a joint, and that during you got to catch these before the summer comes in. There's supposed to be a certain space between them. If they're all tight at this time of year, springtime,
yes,
there's a mad rush to get them regulated out, because the summertime, if they all squeeze together, there's a pressure builds up.
Yes.
The track just
buckles up.
pops.
Yes.
But
But they
continuous
pre-stretch
well,
them,
they do.
don't they?
Huh?
Now they pre-stretch them and things now.
When you put that in now, you've got they had what they call breathers either end, which is shaped rail that moves. It doesn't affect the profile as such. You know, it's kind of, and it's on slide plates over about 10 feet,
Right.
and that, as you might know, steel just expands at the end. So it doesn't matter how long it is; it just expands at the ends, and that's the theory. But if you've got different types of weather at different parts of the track over
Yes.
2 miles, even going through a tunnel's cooler than what it is on the outside.
Of course,
But
yes.
also you've got this. Even though the fastenings are tight, it used to get on jointed track. The trains are braking. There's a force that pushes on the rail and they all chudder up together.
Yes, gotcha.
So that amount of maintenance has been completely done away with. Very few. There's only jointed track and signs. The Waverley Station had joints for years because there was no fast traffic on it. It was just people slowing, taking off. So they were always the last to get done. Unless they were through stations, speed through stations.
Yes.
But that kind of track, and then the machinery they've got for, they come off the road and right onto the track now. We never
Yes.
had that. We had cranes and things.
Yeah, I was at Ladybank last week, the week before last, and there's like a JCB that's got the rail can go on the road and rail.
Well, I'm somewhere in the 90s when I was at the Inverkeithing, again as an assistant manager. They keep changing. The company was changed 3 times. I signed a contract with British Rail, and then it went Infrastructure Services as a practice to work with rail track as it was, and we were now contractors rather than in-house. And then the Infrastructure Services was a practice under the hierarchy of British Railways. And then there was a management employee buyout. No, we were at ScotRail for a wee while. Management employee buyout, and the company was called First Engineering. No relationship apparently to anybody else that's called First.
Right.
So they say, right. So that ran for a wee while, and I left the railway, but they got bought over by Balfour Beatty, so they had a rail division. It was all this competition that didn't really work. Engineering bit didn't work.
Yes.
And so the Network Rail then decided to bring everybody back in house again. The engineering and the PWA back in house.
Yeah.
But in the 80s at Ladybank they had joiners, plumbers, bricklayers or masons, people that worked with stone walls and that, and tunnels.
Yeah.
A
All
bridge
the skills,
inspector, they had all
yes.
that, and they were all just disappeared by 1985, 86, all paid
Yes.
off.
And now it's all contracted
And
out.
all contracted. Fencing's all contracted. We used to repair fences and then network. Well, rigmarole. You had to get when we went private to put a big fence in the yard. I mean, we never had that before.
No,
when
no.
the
Our
British
things used to
Railways.
be open, didn't they?
Aye, and I had material there, but because
It's the same as
because
all the
it was
building sites and all
privatisation,
that.
We
They
could,
used
we
to.
could say we could say to a POA inspector in Edinburgh, if you've got a spare crossing there, a certain type of, we could send a lorry over and pick it up and bring it over.
Yes, yes.
Couldn't they do that then? All of a sudden. So it had its ups and downs, and then I
Yes.
think they worked it out. The people on the ground knew that was going to work, and then eventually Network Rail decided no, it's not working. So we'll have to get all these people in house again, because they were paying over and above. They were paying maintenance for an annual basis, a fixed price, and anything over and above that,
Yes.
they paid extra. So at some point you say, this is not going to work. The whole idea of joining the railways up together in the first place was all this nonsense was taking place between the two big four companies.
Yes, yes.
Some LNER would charge LMS. You're travelling on your track, so your wheels are actually harder than our rails, and you're wearing our rails out quicker than what our ones does. So you need to pay this. You imagine all
Yeah,
this
it got
going
ridiculous
on.
squabbling and that, yes.
Well, it ended up back to that again.
All trying to make money out of each other.
Anyway, but over the years between this nobody says how much they've actually saved on an annual basis in maintenance or compared to now to before.
Yeah.
But
But
it
I
must be
was-
astronomical.
But the maintenance isn't to as high a standard in some
No,
ways.
it
as
is. It's always they use machinery now. I mean, a tamper comes through here.
Yes.
The theory is it can do 2-3 miles a night.
Right,
maintenance
much
done.
more efficiently, yes.
And
I was
they've got a
thinking
brush
more
that
like
comes up
the-
and brushes at the back. Now they've got JC or excavators that do exactly the same thing for smaller areas,
Yes.
or even longer areas. And then they had huge big ballast clearers that some countries still use. You'll find a lot of information on YouTube.
Yeah, oh yes, yes.
You just type in railway machinery and you'll get all sorts of Canadians do it. And when they reach sleeper, they go to town. By God, they've got about 7 machines, all do different jobs. In the middle of nowhere.
Aye, one going along at the back of the other.
In
So.
the middle of nowhere. One pulls fastens it, a magnet picks them up, and another one pulls the sleepers out, another one puts them in. Another one
Yeah, I've
puts
seen some stuff like that, yes.
brilliant. But that.
But then did see like cutting the trees back and that at the sides of the railway line, did that all come under your
yes, we
remit
did
as well?
Anything between the fences,
Yes.
including the fences, we
Yeah.
dealt with. So in the old days, like the 40s into 50s, the best kept lanes. So if you take it, 10 miles is roughly the maximum anybody by law is deemed to be able to do in a working day comfortably. If you ask if they've got to walk any more than 10 miles, that means you've got by a mutual arrangement. You can't say you're working 12 miles a day.
I've got you, yes.
so
It's sort of
most
like
lanes-
overtime and working so many
No,
hours,
it was
but within your contracted hours,
yeah,
yes.
It was down there, so I don't know if I think it applies to all industries. But anyway, the 10-mile track. Let's say you've got 10 miles of track, so there's 2 tracks there. That's 20 route miles. If there's a loop that length, then it's 30 route miles. That's
Sorry, you're counting the track as it's...
that's maintained by what used to be 12 men, as a gang of men that had that 10 miles, and they did methodically. They went through it, and there was seasonal work, and so the springtime they would get to the joints and make sure they were all right. And if they were all right, then they could go and clean out the drains quicker. So you had to rod the drains out and shovel it, go to the
Yes.
catch pits. Then any embankments, they used to use scythes and cut the grass at the side because because the steam engines
You could set fire
set
to
fire.
it, yes.
So they had all these jobs. So tilling weeds, you could walk along the cess or cycle
Yes.
along it. You can't do that nowadays. You'll never be able to do that for years.
No.
Because what they did was engineers raised the track. As soon as they raised the track, they put more ballast and that overshot the
Yeah,
the walking
right,
area.
I see. And have you noticed all the whiskey bottles on the
Yeah, I noticed
side here?
that. I didn't notice them. I remember fixing a fence here on the other side as well.
Right.
Somewhere in the 80s, I was put in at Thornton there as a guy, a track chairman. So, we used to park the motor over there and then
Yes.
walk away. I can see all, I can see all the faces.
Happy days.
Aye, but I never had a problem.
Hard
really.
work as well.
The weather was a bit annoying. Eh?
Yes.
But when you were examining the track, a track patrolman, you had the day to yourself, as long
Yeah.
as you had a wee book to fill in.
What's like the cabinet over there? Is that for signalling?
That's signalling.
Just joining cables and things.
Detection box or something, they call
Mm-hmm.
them. The relays in it.
Yeah, there's one further down. There's probably one down there about 50 yards or something.
Modernised all these things, but the good thing about, the continuous welded rail, that saved a lot with joints because the people that deal with electrics on the railway had to put two bonds either side in case of break.
Yes, yes.
And keep the circuit going. Now, if the rail cracks, the signalman knows right away
Uh-huh.
because it shows
Lose
up
a
as-
connection, yeah.
so
The resistance of
of
change or whatever, yes.
That's it. It shows there's a line occupied until somebody comes out at 2:30 in the morning to find out what it is. And it's usually S&T, so they thought, oh, it's a rail, so it's a PUA, so they'll phone the PUA.
Yeah, I've seen the yellow maintenance cars going along 2-3 weeks ago.
Rail track couldn't handle this when they started. That's why it ended up Neckburn Rail. The rail track was fully out. The old team, I think, and they were doing things like Glasgow. When somebody phoned in or anybody reported in about the railway, this control would handle it. Oh, we'll get the PUA to do that in Fife, right? Hello, is that right? Get somebody to look at that. Now, when rail track took over, you had somebody in rail track answering the phone and then talking to a guy over there belonging to a company. He then
Yes.
talked to the inspector, putting an extra person in.
Aye.
What was that all about?
Overcomplicating it.
I just made it.
And
So I don't know. Network Rail brought them in house. And that shouldn't happen anymore.
it's a bit like a Chinese whisper as well, because the communication doesn't always get through, does it?
And these people, you could hear their voice. They called me out one night. I jumped in the van. I said they were looking for I had to get something done within 15 minutes. That was the rule, innit? So I'm phoning up men and nobody answering. By 3 phone calls, you're going, I'm running out of time here, I better go myself. So I went away to Inverkeith one time, and as I'm driving away then I had one of the chocolate box phones, you know, they all got
Yes.
a battery in it.
Yeah.
And it started ringing, so I drew into the side, and the guy from the control, he said, I'm just wondering how you're getting on, Mr. Meats. I says, I'm not getting anywhere. I says, I've had to draw on the side here to answer the phone call here. Oh, I'm sorry. I said, I'd gone, I told you I'd gone myself, and I've got to drive to Glenrothes to Inverkeith, which
Yes.
is about 40 minutes. Right? And
Yeah.
10 minutes later, he's phoning me, and it's like a panic. He gets something done about it. And I got there wasn't needed. Because it was something to do with single line working on the bridge, and it was cancelled.
Right. I came out here Christmas Day because I thought, they'll probably be doing some work on Christmas Day, but the
That's
only
a favourite.
activity was people clipping back the bushes and things like that, and going along with chainsaws.
For the contract.
Well, it was further up the track and all that. Really, they'd already got all
There
this.
was a job I was at one night, in Thornton, and they got in. It was a bit. There was a line of trees on the curve, and the drivers couldn't see the signal round the corner.
Right, yes.
Up towards Kirkcaldy there. So this line of trees was deemed to be needing cut. So I got the job in the engineering supervisor on the site, the contractors. I had 1 or 2 of my own men to take possession and watch for. So I had to give these men a briefing. And these men had 2 brand new tractors and trailers and big chippers. and there was a dozen of them, and some of the abseilers to climb up the trees. to
Yes,
cut them.
yes.
So yeah, I'm giving this briefing to everybody, and then I had to ask the drivers of these new machines, have you got a certificate there of roadworthiness?
Yeah.
A brand new machine. I feel like an idiot.
Yes.
You've got a first aid box.
But then I've heard-
all that before you let them on the site.
Yeah.
Which is fine. That's the way the world now.
Yeah.
At
So
every access point, that one is an access
that's
point there.
dangerous. That if you look at that, it's all rotting.
Aye, well that access, you'll see a signpost on there, that's
Yes.
what people write on.
Because there's information on that as
Aye,
to
well,
how.
years ago, every access was quarter a mile apart, which is deemed to be 5 minutes walk.
Mhm.
So wherever you are, you're supposed to be able to walk in 5 minutes from the arrival at the access point.
Yeah.
Another thing that I lived through on the railway, I started on the railway, they had paraffin permanent temporary emergency lighting and signage for speed restrictions.
Right. Yes. Yes.
And they were paraffin, so you had this big container that had about 3 gallons of paraffin in it and burners on it.
And you have to wind the wick up and that.
Aye, all that came from the wick every time you passed it, and this glass thing with a number on it. And then you had one with fishtails with a big heavy wooden thing on a big foot, and 2 men to carry each item, blah 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 for years.
Yes.
Then they changed to a lighter version which had batteries in, same batteries that the S&T used, these big bulky, one
Like a lead acid battery or something.
Aye, and they were all connected to light up 2 bulbs.
Yes.
5-volt bulbs, very clever device. When it went dim, the bulbs came on, and if one burst, the other one automatically came on.
Yes.
All clever stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
£200 a box or something. A circuit board that you would get away
A
with
lot of money
packet
back in those
cornflakes.
days.
Aye, and a wee circuit that you could get away with a packet of cornflakes
Yeah.
for that. So, they did this now. But
Where is he?
1985 or something, they changed the speed restrictions from the cutout plywood and metal to the big round ones you see on the road.
Yeah.
Right, reflector.
Sorry, just excuse me a sec.
Oh, aye, the temporary speed signs. In 1980 odds, we put the big round things on. You were supplied with poles, dug holes all the way. We got weekend work to do this. It had to be done by Monday.
Yes.
And all the way up through Fife. And Fife is nothing but sand, so it's easy to dig it up in Cooper and Ladybank.
Mhm.
But down in Thornton, where they raised the whole track bed about the height of a platform,
Right.
it was all stowed. Took us ages to dig down.
Rosie,
deep enough.
sorry.
That's all right. So these were all put up at reflective, all to the height that it catch the light off the engine
Yeah.
or the unit. Right?
Mhm.
Lovely. Right. We were still using the battery temporary lights, the battery big boxes, carrying the batteries further up.
Mhm.
This
So
is-
these batteries, did you have to take them away and get them
Yes,
charged up
no,
and things,
no,
and then,
no,
or were they
were
disposable?
Disposable.
Right,
And then
all
you
right.
had to put them in. Eventually, you used to get thrown away, but eventually they come out with a huge big box. You had to put the old ones in there, and that was specially taken away.
Yes.
Again, money, apart from the price of batteries. Now, this is. Just say the middle of the 80s, they brought out the reflectors on the big signs, right?
Right.
Now, so this is by the 90s, 15 years later, they're still using these batteries, roughly,
Mhm.
and then they decided to go reflective on the temporary ones.
Yeah.
And you say, why didn't they do that?
Years ago,
years
yes.
ago? 15 years of buying batteries, and all in Britain,
Yeah.
for as many, we had 3 temporaries on at one time. The amount of batteries you go through. So this is, one man can lift this square aluminium pole with a reflective side on it and plonk it. It's designed so it's at the right space away for the rail and the right height. Plonk it there and that's it. One man can put the whole lot.
Yeah.
Come on now, come on.
Jeff.
Sometimes you went about shaking your head all the time.
I can imagine. Frustrating.
But the same anyway.
Yes. Oh, yes. You hear similar sort of stories. Yes.
So
Right.
do you write articles or something? No?
No, I just do some videos, and I've just started doing them because I've sort of taken early retirement,
Aye.
or I'm in the
Well,
process
that's
of
what I did.
going,
I know.
because I've got some health problems. I've got,
Yeah, I did the same.
so
I'm no complaining. Apart from the aches and pains, this is my exercise.
yes.
Take the dog a walk.
And do you stay in Markinch, or
No, I'm away the other side of Glenrothes.
Oh,
It's
right.
a handy run. It's like almost.
so do you come along Boblingham Way then?
Aye, all the way up to Cascabery.
Right, you're up Cascaben, yeah.
Another mile and a half had been
Right.
Leslie.
I used to live in Waverley Court many years ago.
Ah, right, yeah.
Yes.
That area. I've cycled away around the way across and down and up round, and you get down the old line. I worked on that as well. I've walked that as well when it was a railway,
Yes.
from the sidings down to the paper. But I examined their track under their contract just to make sure, because BR vehicles were going in there.
Right.
We had to examine it
Yeah.
to make sure it was fit for BR vehicles. Because they had a team in there, did their own railway when there was a massive railway in there, and then it slowly went away, and then these people disappeared. So we just looked at it, come out. Aye, once you walked in there, there's only one way out, is walk back the same way. Yeah?
Aye.
That's steep hill.
Well,
But
because
I come to Glenrothes first in '63. Actually, my dad worked in the railway at Thornton.
Mm-hmm.
We got off at Markinch. We walked to a cafe, had some ice cream or something. And walked across. There was no new road there at that time. Walked up the farm and up the zigzag road
Yes.
to the Woodside. We used to stay over there in that area over there.
because Woodside's the oldest part of Glenrothes.
1948 they started it. So they
Yes.
must have been planning as soon as the war finished.
Yes, well,
I mean, the
suppose-
war could have went anywhere. As soon as it was just like, right, is that the end of the war? Right, get the paper out, start
Yeah.
designing.
Yeah.
Because you would think a couple of years before they decided where to put it. Eh?
Aye.
Another interesting thing I find, if you ever come across the book, the history of Glenrothes, it will tell you that the Markinch was deemed to be going to be the centre point of the new town, right? Because obviously it had a station.
Station, yes.
But it makes sense. Eh? So when they went to the planning thing, which would have been 1940, whatever, all the local people then said, no, we don't want anything disturbed round about here. No,
Aye.
they couldn't convince them. So they had to shift the whole plan down the way and buy a farm down at Stenton,
Yes.
and run by two brothers who had spent years perfecting this land, and they were told compulsory purchase and they didn't want it. And one of them actually committed suicide.
Really.
And these people that up there that voted against this, they're all dead now.
No,
You can't
yes,
tell
yes,
me
yes,
they're
yes.
alive. So what their decision affected the future generation and what you see here and now, which shouldn't be allowed to, because they affected that behind up from Markinch. I know it Loch. What do you call it? There used to be a loch up there, but the railway went through it. On that side, it's never been. It's not a forest. Never been any animals. Never been any crops on it. To me, it's useless land, and I think they knew that. And that houses up there would have been
Yes.
way up there.
Those,
And
those
that would have
houses
been
were on the Star, the
the
Leven
Star
Road.
would have been
Yeah.
incorporated, possibly like Thornton.
Yes.
Thornton would have been eventually still developed that way, but everybody would have had an equal distance to travel to
Yeah.
the centre
Yes.
station.
Yeah. Which would have made sense.
And it was a decision of the people at Markinch at the time. The same as the new bridge in the town. Park.
Yes, the one that cuts through. Oh.
Yes, they had a meeting with the public just to tell them what was going on, and everybody complained about it. Oh, you can't do that. We're going to object. They said, "Oh, I'm sorry, you can't object." The planning permission was passed in 1948. That was planned in 1948.
Yes, really, yeah.
Yeah, because
Part of the original town planning.
yeah, the GDC had the road map to get a main road to run for the Dundee Road on that side of Glenrothes. That's what's happening. Oh, that's what you've got now. Eh?
Yeah. Certainly taking a lot of time and rubbing down on that bridge wire, brushing it and things.
Yeah. But there's this. It's only Thursday. It might
Yes.
be even slower tomorrow.
Oh, there's not much going to happen at the moment, is there? Yeah, Glenrovers. It's. I live in
So where do you-
Woodside.
Eh?
I live in Woodside.
You live in Woodside?
Yes.
Whereabout?
Bitey Crescent.
Bitey. I stayed in Bitey Avenue.
All right. Yeah.
You know the cul-de-sac bit.
Yeah. Just
Number-
past the shops.
Number 86. You just see it as you're passing it.
Hmm.
We're in there for 6 months, and my mum decided to take one of the newer houses up in South Park.
Right. Yeah. The people that lived in the house that I live in were the coal merchants, the Forsyths. So you might have heard of the Forsyths.
Oh, I know the Forsyths because my
Yes.
son-in-law they're friends with the Forsyths. Yes.
Yeah. So I've been in there
Isn't
since
it?
September 2000. I
Yeah.
bought the house.
Nice still on the go, Jock Forsyth.
Yes.
Oh, my son-in-law's friends with
And the next door neighbour, the Forsyth's wife and Kif Wallace, who lived next door to us, his wife, they were like best friends, and they both died a day apart.
Oh dear. But they all die.
Yeah, they were a fairly reasonable age anyway, because they.
Did the women die first? Because sometimes the other one.
No, it was the two. It was the two women died. The two men. The men. Well, Mrs. Forsyth died, and then Kif, next door neighbour, his wife died. But there you
I
go.
could do that. Gives a job.
You want a job? Get back. You're missing your job.
No, really, no. No.
Nope.
When you get women tried that,